everyone, and welcome to my channel, Traveling with Sam. Today I am in Brussels, Belgium, my first time anywhere in Belgium. So once again, a brand new place for me to explore and to show you what I find, what I see, what I taste, what I hear. So thank you for finding my channel. Thank you for subscribing and for leaving comments and for your likes. And if you are ready to explore Brussels here on this sunny morning, then let's go. So on my way to the city center here in Brussels. Yes. Cute architecture and even cuter balconies. It's almost to the city center of Brussels over there. So many choices. So here I am at the beginning of the city center. Walking north. Here is the first attraction, the main piece. Once you get to the city center, very easy to walk around and go to the major spots. So here's what is known as Art Mountain. So it has a number of different museums and libraries. You have a statue over here of Elizabeth on this cold but yet enticing Friday morning here in Brussels, Belgium. Here you have a garden. As you can see, in the winter, it looks like more of a wonderland than a garden. So this is the view from up top looking back. I walked up the stairs and now looking at this like a castle. Here you have the beginning of the grounds for the Royal Palace here in Brussels. Alright, so if you just walk around the corner, we'll come to this, which is the Royal Palace of Brussels. Massive palace. During the summer months, you can take a tour inside, but during the winter, not allowed to go inside, as you can see. So just gives me a good excuse to come back in the summer. If you cross the street, you can get the full view like this. Now into the park of Brussels, just across the street. Jogger out and about. Dog, couple dogs in the snow. Such a gorgeous day for a walk in the park with the National Theater over there. Just a little bit outside of the park, around the corner to the left, and then right, and then left again. This cathedral, St. Michael and St. Gudula Cathedral. From the other side, fairy tale looking cathedral. Here's the front view. It looks like we can go inside. I'm not sure if I will be able to take any photos or videos inside, but we'll see what happens. So I can take photos and videos, just have to be quiet. The statues. The stained glass. All right. Time to move on. Just making a loop, a city loop, as more people are out and about here. Just a couple minute walk around the corner once again. The Galeries Royales Hubert. So here we go. So it still has the decorations. Not sure if it's year-round or it's still because of the winter holidays. It's a nice feel. Definitely crowded here at the moment. Different unique looking shops here. Some good looking Belgium chocolate. Also looks like some macaroons. As I said before, very unique looking shops here. Definitely a fun place to just window shop. So walking down a little alley, just around the gallery, and a lot of different restaurants and cafes to choose from. So here's the female version of the pond and the image. So here at the Delirium, a ton of different beers here. I decided to sit down and have something to eat here at the Belgian Buffalo. So here is my first meal here. Some seafood, mussels and fries. A nice fire to keep me warm. So time to dig in. Looks amazing. A delicious meal. Now heading to my hotel for some rest. Okay, had some rest. Now back out. Beautiful out here in the evening. Going to go on a evening / night tour here in Brussels. So making my way to the meeting spot now. So here I am at the Grand Place, and it definitely looks grand, especially in the evening. So I found my tour group over here, my guide with the red umbrella. So we'll see Brussels, Belgium by night.
It's called the House of the Dukes of Brabant is because on the facade there are sculptures of the dukes, and they are ordered chronologically. So if you start from the left, you're going to find the first Duke of Brabant, and if you end up at the right, you're going to see the last Duke of Brabant. Now what's interesting about the Brabant region is that unlike other places in Europe, they had male and female rulers. So some people call it feminist, other people call it just lack of a male heir. Now this, I mentioned that it wasn't ever the House of the Dukes, it was actually yet another commercial association. It was the Guild of the Cereal Makers. So you would have wheat, you would have barley, you would have hop being negotiated here in this building. Now this brings us to the Beer Association, which is the building with the golden horse at the top. So they would have been negotiating with each other to get a better price for cereal. Pretty polished because everybody rubs it for their wishes to come true. It is also said that if you rub it, it is very likely that you will come back to Brussels, just to let you know, if you want to visit again. And these panels here summarize the story that I was just telling you about. So at the beginning, you have the Everglass and his soldiers sneaking in towards the city hall. Then you have Lady Joanna triumphantly walking back into the city on her fancy horse. And finally you have the people celebrating the triumph, and here there is a chicken that is being plucked, which earned the nickname of the chicken eaters. So with that said, feel free to rub the statue if you want to.
Make my wishes come true. This used to be a prison. Now it's a hotel. Hotel Amigo. Amigo in Spanish is friend.
When it was ruled by the Spanish in the 1500s, they heard that people were speaking Dutch here, and they heard that people were saying "vroom" a lot, because this place was actually referred to as the vroom area. And now the thing is that vroom means field in Dutch, but it's very similar to the word for friend, which is vrit. It's just one vowel difference. So the thing is that they misheard this, or they mistranslated it, and that is how this place becomes known as the Amigo place. It's just a mistranslation. Particularly vicious criminals were being escorted using this underground tunnel to be taken into the city hall to be judged there, and if they were particularly heinous, they would be executed in this square where we were just standing. So what is more entertaining in the Middle Ages than watch people get executed, right? So that is something you can see, but you can still see some signs on the city of its existence. For example, the name of the street, which is Hospital. Now, St. John Hospital was part of a network of hospitals that existed throughout the Middle Ages, and the in order to have an easy healing of soldiers that were going to the Crusades to fight for Jerusalem, basically. So they would have climbed the city wall to put the flag of Joanna back on the city hall. The city wall would have been something like this. This is actually a medieval wall from the 12th century, and it is one of the last portions of the city wall that are still standing. When the city of Brussels started expanding and more people started, well, being born in Brussels as well as moving into Brussels, the city wall made that the city was a little bit tight, needed more space. So the city started expanding and they built a second city wall, further back in that direction, of course. But that city wall today is not standing anymore. There are no remains that exist. It's a little bit newer than the rest of the tower because it is. It's from the 1700s. And it is called Anissen's Tower. But that name is actually a mistake. It's a fake news. The reason why it's called Anissen's is because supposedly Mr. Anessen would have been held here as a prisoner because these towers were used as a prison. But he wasn't really held here. He was held in another prison that looked just like this one, but it was somewhere else in the city. However, because there are not many of these towers standing, they were like, oh, let's just claim this one as the towers where he was a prisoner. Now, who was Mr. Anessen? He was the head of the Carpenter Guild. Remember earlier on the square, I pointed out the Carpenter Guild. He was the leader of that. And in the late 1700s, Belgium was under the power of the Austrians. So the Austrians were ruling, and they wanted to modernize the system. They wanted to change the political system and increase the taxes. And that would have been very negative for people that were part of guilds. Why? Because they were merchants, they were businessmen. So obviously taxes would have affected them negatively. But also, Austrians wanted to reduce the power that they had. People that were members of guilds, they had a lot of negotiating power for fixing prices, for example, for establishing trading routes. So that gave them a lot of political power for decision making. The Austrians wanted to take this away. So this makes the people in the guilds very angry and they start revolting. Now the thing about that is that they wanted to claim somebody as the guilty person, but there were so many people revolting that it was hard to point a finger. So they just choose Mr. Anessen, the head of the Carpenter Guild, as the guilty party, even though he was around his 60s, and that was pretty old for that time. Remember that the medicine back then was not as great as the one we have now, so his health was not as good as somebody who is 60 years old today. So he
Such interesting stories and anecdotes here in Brussels. They also have a giant Ferris wheel here. Looks nice and modern.
Very popular
Nice view before we get on this very interesting elevator.
or if they don't know where the person was living, it's usually the address where they were working at. We're stopping here because it's a big group, even though you see different of these stumbling stones all across European cities. This also has a very famous historical figure who is the first one over here. It's a Polish name, so I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation, but it's Herschel Grinspan, unless you want to correct me.
Grinspan, yeah, that's
Grinspan,
correct.
okay.
But Herschel doesn't sound Polish at all.
No, it's a Jewish name.
All right.
So he was a Polish Jewish origin, but he
Right.
was actually living in Germany. And when things start getting complicated before the Second World War, he decides to migrate to France. But the thing about migrating was that it was illegal as a Jewish person to take money out of Germany, and it was also illegal to go into France without any income, without any way to sustain yourself financially. So it was a lose-lose situation for any Jewish person that wanted to run away into France. So what he does instead is he comes to Brussels because he has family here, and he lives here for a year, and he works here as a shoemaker. When he makes enough connections to cross hidden into France, he eventually moves into France. So this plaque honors the fact that he was living here for a year, even though his actual known headquarters were in Paris. Now, why is he famous is because in Paris, he lives there for about 2 years, and he tries to become a legal citizen, but he doesn't manage. The situation was very complicated for Jewish people in France as well. In fact, he goes pretty much every day to the German embassy before France is occupied by the Nazis, and he tries to regularize his situation there, but he doesn't achieve it. He's very frustrated, of course, and by November of 1938, he also receives a letter saying that the rest of his family, who were still in Germany, had been deported, and they don't know where. So after this, he becomes incredibly frustrated. He gets a gun from the black market, and with the gun, he walks into the German embassy and he shoots one of the higher-up people in the embassy. At his paintings, when he was alive, they were selling like hot potatoes, basically. So today, it's not that common to find multiple of his paintings in the same collection. Maybe you'll see one or two, but more than that, it's really unusual to see. You can see some of them in the Old Masters Museum, but it's also a very specific museum. It's only Belgian painters. So if you're into that, go for it. But just to let you know, it's very specific. Now,
What a wonderful tour. Nice guide with very interesting stories and information. Our guide, Steph. So yeah, it's cool. Now going to grab some dinner and get indoors because it is cold out here and been walking around for a few hours. So here's like a fuller view of the grand place. So here is where I'm going for dinner. Try some Belgian food. So I have what's supposed to be the best wheat beer, and then I have these Belgian meatballs. This one is mommy sauce. Not sure exactly what is included in the sauce. Then over here I have Belgian cheese sauce for my meatball, and some potato Belgian fritter things. So time to enjoy. Wow, that was a delicious meal. Definitely recommend that place, as well as the beer. Granted, I haven't tried all the wheat beers in the world, but it definitely was a tasty wheat beer. So I will mention it in the description. So hopefully when you come here, you can try it out. Try different kind of meatballs and different sauces. So going to have to try some dessert, some variety of waffles, something that they created, Belgian waffle. So gonna have some nice dessert to cap off my amazing day here in Brussels, Belgium. So here is my epic dessert. Oh my gosh. With Nutella, strawberry, banana, vanilla ice cream on my Belgium waffle. Wow, what a lovely nightcap. Amazing dessert. And here I'm at my hotel. So located just inside the city center here. So very convenient. So yes. Gotta try the waffles here. Have your own toppings as you please. Thank you so much for traveling with me and experiencing Brussels, Belgium with me for the first time. So I hope you liked this video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you like it, give it a like. If you want to leave a comment, it's much appreciated. And thank you for finding my channel. Thank you for spending time watching this video. And until next time, thank you for traveling with Sam. Good night.